Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome. My name is Ria Singh, Director of Marketing at ICCG, and I'll be your moderator for today's webinar, Building a Connected Content and Commerce Ecosystem, How Unilog and ICCG Power the Future of E-Commerce. Over the next 40 minutes, we'll take a close look at how distributors and manufacturers can unify their digital ecosystems by integrating robust product content with ERP-driven commerce. Today's session is brought to you by Unilog and ICCG, two organizations that have come together in a strategic partnership to help businesses transform the way they manage and deliver digital experiences. By combining Unilog's powerful content and commerce solutions with ICCG's deep ERP and industry expertise, they're enabling companies to streamline operations and meet the evolving needs of B2B buyers. We're excited to be joined by a panel of industry experts who will guide us through this conversation. We have Bala Anatharama, Executive Vice President at ICCG. We have Tyler Springer, Senior Business Strategy and Industry Solution Architect at ICCG. And we also have Laura Brown, Partner Program Manager at Unilog Corporation. They'll walk us through how to optimize product data and enhance operational efficiency and deliver a seamless customer-first digital experience. We'll leave time at the end for Q&A, so please feel free to add your questions to the chat box throughout the session. We'll answer as many as we can before we wrap up. And with that, I'll hand it over to Bala to kick things off. Bala?
Thank you, Ria. Greetings to all, and appreciate Ria for the kind introductions and moderation of this webinar series. So let me start by sharing who we are at International Computer Consulting Group, ICCG in short. We are a consulting firm who have been serving manufacturing and distribution clients globally for 36 years and counting, with implementation excellence. Two of our very strong ERP and enterprise solutions technology partners that we represent are Infor and Acumatica. We are obviously very clearly focused on within the manufacturing and distribution verticals into what we call as micro verticals. And I'm highlighting this because it does have a credence for what we are going to today talk in partnership with Unilog. The micro verticals that we are focused are mainly in the distribution world, wholesale distribution, consumer goods, home goods, in the process manufacturing, food and bev, chemicals and life sciences, and fashion and apparel, besides industrial manufacturing. In this journey that we are on, being connected to strategic partners besides our customers is very, very precious and valuable for both ICCG as well as for our customers. So let me here introduce the value proposition of our partnership, strategic partnership with Unilog. Unilog, as you will hear more from Laura during this webinar, provides a very clear purpose-built e-commerce and product content solution for wholesale distributors, manufacturers, showrooms, and retailers. Unilog, of course, gives that digital commerce seamless buying experience combined with enhanced product discovery to enable a digital transformation for all their customers. This now you combine with what ICCG brings to the table along with Unilog. As I mentioned in my previous slide, ICCG has been serving business enterprises for their enterprise resource planning, supply chain planning, and some strategic applications like warehouse management and product lifecycle management. Most of these are considered as back-end system of records in business. And that in today's world, where we need to seamlessly connect with the front end, where for our clients, there is revenue generation happening. It is primarily powered by e-commerce or EDI. And hence, when we looked at Unilog's vision and Unilog's solution in the e-commerce world, we found an able partner that we are able to connect with and arrive at a common go-to-market strategy, be it fashion, be it food and bev, be it consumer goods or home goods or wholesale distribution, to add a greater value to our customers, be it Inforce technology or Acumatica's ERP solutions. Unilog's the CX1 platform suite of solutions, products, that, again, you will hear more about from Laura today at Unilog, addresses this need very well, combining a modern technology framework with great and amazing customer support. The synergy and the strategic fit is obvious. We bring in the deep ERP systems expertise, be it Infor or Acumatica, or we are also having an emerging Workday practice. Unilog brings the e-commerce and content focus, product information management, enriched content and user experience, and combined together as complementary solutions, we become the one-stop shop for seamless commerce. What do all of you as our clients benefit out of this? A single unified solution, faster time to market, and clearly both our organizations' comprehensive support working to ensure you are successful in your business serving your customers. Over to Laura.
Thanks, Bala. Thanks. So let's begin first as why now? Why e-commerce? What do you need to actually look at as far as your digital journey? And where is your digital journey today? So I think a big first step is to assess your digital maturity, because that is very essential for understanding your competitive position and also identifying areas for improvement. The majority of manufacturers, wholesale distribution, their digital maturity level is probably about 1 to 2, sometimes into 3, as you see here on the chart. So they have minimal online presence. They have a website, but it has a little bit of content and really lacks some executive support, and often managed by an IT as a secondary responsibility within the company, and really doesn't have very much of an e-commerce revenue. It's probably less than 1%. Same with level 2, gets a little better, has some executive support, but kind of lacks some key personnel, just whether it's making it more of a personal experience for your customers or just on staff in general in your own company. And it can handle basic orders and offer a little additional value, but still the e-commerce revenue is less than 5%. And as we move in up the levels, and this is where Unilog and ICCG partnership really comes together to help drive a higher level of your digital maturity, is for level 3, 4, and 5. So level 3 is where we really want to get someone started at and make sure they're at the beginning of their journey here, because then your sales team is boosting the site adaptation, so they're using it themselves. Your marketing also uses the e-commerce to promote your business, and the actual revenue from e-commerce is between 5 to 20%. So you're actually starting to see an increase in revenue on the digital platform. And then moving on into level 4, which again, we all work together to move to that, to get to that major goal of level 5. But level 4, they kind of have like an e-commerce team with data analysts and marketing, and you're looking at 20 to 40% of your revenue is through your e-commerce site. And there's also extra co-op from marketing and advertising dollars. So again, you're not just selling your products online, you're really expanding that channel. And then level 5, the omni-channel commerce. So that's not just a digital commerce, it's also incorporating your physical channels and driving greater than 40% revenue coming in from revenue stream coming in from your e-commerce site. So just to begin, like I said, most people are around like level 1 to 2. Level 3 is ideal, and then level 5 is the goal. And so those big B2B leaders, they're in level 5. So now that we've kind of looked at maybe what your own digital journey is, let's look at how Unilog, and then also in with ICCG, can help elevate your business maturity model. So Unilog has 4 core products. We have our CX1 e-commerce, which obviously is your e-commerce site, generate revenue online. We also have our CX1 product content, where we enrich content. We have our content enrichment services, but we also have our own content, about 10 million SKUs that you can subscribe to that's already enriched, and which our own content that you can subscribe to is located in our CX1 PIM. And that is same PIM can also be synced with any other platform you also have. So even if, for as far as Unilog wise goes, you just went with Unilog for content, we have the abilities to sync it in if you're using another e-commerce platform. And then CX1 Connect, this is kind of that extensibility layer where we can integrate in with ERPs. And we consider ICCG kind of ties into that CX1 Connect bucket. We also can tie into other third-party solutions. So what really happens is it becomes an all-in-one solution. You're not having to click on multiple different platforms to, okay, I want to go my e-commerce over here, my ERP's over here. We also have this chat that we wanted, or an AI chat. We can integrate all that into one platform, and that's using that CX1 Connect. So high level, going over just 2 core products that are part of our CX1 e-commerce. Our main enterprise level is CX1 SIM2. This is an all-in-one solution, as I just mentioned. You have your major key features as far as what is needed for e-commerce. And then there's also that connections for pricing and availability and order management, which we'll get into a bit more here. We also have the CX1 showroom, which is mostly meant for that decorative plumbing. Those, as mentioned before, we also cater to the showroom. So that virtual showroom where wish lists can be created, and you can also offer requests for quote and potential, not necessarily connected to your ERP, but still place orders, or it's just to show pricing or to build a nice showroom, virtual showroom to present to customers. Today, we're mostly going to be focusing on the CX1 SIM2 product. And as I mentioned, ICCG kind of ties into that CX1 Connect. It facilitates all those other integrations so it can truly be an all-in-one solution, starting with your ERP like Acumatica and Infor. You also have any payment gateways, so to correcting credit cards or ACH, etc. Also any marketing, so your Google Analytics, your HubSpot. We also partner with Moblico. And then again, shipping. If you already have a FedEx account, we tie that in. So as your customers are checking out, shipping's calculated right there from FedEx. Or your ERP, same with taxes, like Avalara, et cetera. And then obviously social media. And then we have some other that we would consider third parties like Termly and Bluon for any HVAC side, and CartStack. It's a great partnership for cart abandonment, email reminders, and also any exit intents. And so the CX1 product content, as I mentioned, it's our own library of 10 million plus SKUs, fully enriched over multiple verticals. We do have industry-specific taxonomies. So we already mapped it out for better search just across any of your sites. And like I mentioned, you can just subscribe to the content without having our e-commerce, but then because it works with other solutions, but then it also works the best with the actual CX1 e-commerce products. So why product content? You thought we were over here talking about just e-commerce, but why are we talking about product content? And what's the big difference, or why, or value of that connected content in commerce? And what that really ties into is your enhanced customer experience. If you have that enriched content and those detailed product descriptions, images, and spec sheets, install sheets, even catalogs, all wrapped on one easy place for your customers to see, it allows for a better shopping experience, not only in just reviewing an item and seeing if it's the correct one, but also in the fact of searching. They can find your, like an SEO, they're searching Google, but because you have your nice and rich content, your site comes up and then they end up ordering from there. So it's just here is showing a difference between the basic content and that enriched content. So as I mentioned, there's that increased discoverability. So your SEO makes the products easier to find. And another big thing is reduced returns, because your shoppers are able to clearly see the detail of the product and make an informed decision. It also allows for an increase in upsell or cross-sell opportunities. So if you wanted to add in any, we call it like kits and bundling. So if it was a particular product that you need other products are required in order to install it, or if they're replacement parts, you can have that also all listed. And so it's quick and easy for a customer to say, okay, I want to purchase this. Oh, I need to purchase this, this, and this. Or, you know what, the larger size is only a few dollars more. Why don't I just do that? So that really creates that superior customer experience. Enriched content also enhances the actual e-commerce functionality, because then you can truly allow for search and filtering based on attributes. So I don't want to just search for one particular valve and then I got to search the size, but then I want it to be a certain finish, etc. All that enriched content allows for easy filterability based on those attributes, again, enhancing your customer's experience. And as I just mentioned, that advanced searching. So our purpose-built solution offers the advanced search right out of the box. You can have multiple filter options. There's also the comparison. So you can compare multiple up to 5 items, which you can highlight similar or different. And then searches can be saved. And another big item is customized catalogs. So you can create a catalog for particular customers of your own, or even if you want to offer kind of that retail side, but you don't want to put all your products online, you can create a catalog that just is tailored to any retail shoppers. So just as an example, customer example here of discussing from why content is so important. Hose of South Texas, their challenge was they had the site, but their weak content really led to no sales or adaptation of their site. So they integrated with our CX1 PIM, which had our 10 million enriched SKUs, and they expanded their online catalog. And as you can see the stats here, 73% increase in average order value, 43% growth in site traffic, 5% or 5 times more sales, via the search engine. So again, back to that SEO, they were just on Google, did a search for a hose, and hose of South Texas showed up. And then a major decrease in manual order errors. And that also kind of includes that those returns. And then 30% faster product updates across the catalog. So a manufacturer, we're always in contact with our manufacturers, updates the product, it's in our CX1 PIM, and then pushes right into their site. Now that we've moved on from the content, we'll go into why the ERP integration is critical. Taylor?
Yes, thank you very much, Laura. And yeah, kind of going off of where you were coming from with Unilog and the partnership we bring with ICCG, starting off with the big picture first, right? We're all operating in a digital first world now, even when it comes to B2B. So buyers are expecting the same fast, seamless, and transparent experience they're getting when shopping as consumers, right? So this is including real-time updates, self-service options, and zero tolerance for errors, right? And in order to meet these expectations, it's not enough to just have a modern e-commerce platform or a modern ERP. You need both working together, right? And integration is what connects your customer-facing channels to that operational backbone your company has, and truly where the magic begins, right? So beginning first with automated order to cash process, it's really coming down to that real-time data synchronization and integrating your ERP with the e-commerce solution that Unilog brings is true real-time data flow. So whether that be inventory levels, pricing, order status, everything stays in synchronization in real time, right? So no more second guessing if something's in stock or if a price changed yesterday, right? We also have streamlined product information management. As Laura's mentioned several times, the PIM capabilities that Unilog brings is synchronized with the ERP's inventory data, ensuring accurate and real-time inventory across all of your sites or locations, right? Additionally, we also have account-specific pricing and contract management. So the integration between these two enables complex B2B pricing models and matrices, including volume discounts or even customer-specific pricing via customer contracts, to automatically be reflected in the e-commerce front end, right? So no more manual quoting process, long threads of emails, and having to go through that, again, tedious workflow to get a quote. Right. Number 4, we have enhanced procurement workflows. So the integration between both a modern ERP and e-commerce solution enables streamlined approval processes, budget controls, and also purchasing rules within the e-commerce experience, right? So any complex B2B buying processes that might involve multiple stakeholders and compliance requirements can all be all achieved very well with the integration. And last but not least, we have real-time business intelligence, right? So unified data between Unilog and the modern ERP will provide comprehensive visibility into customer buying patterns, product performance, and operational metrics, right? So to every business today, business intelligence and analytics is very important, but to make sense of that data and derive strategic business initiatives is really where you start to make use of it. Right. So to wrap up everything, to kind of finalize here, that e-commerce ERP integration isn't a nice to have anymore. It's truly becoming a must have for any B2B business that wants to grow, scale, and stay competitive in today's digital landscape.
So as we touched on, that pricing and availability, that real-time ERP connectivity, as mentioned, is accurate pricing, stock levels, etc. So this here is just kind of a diagram that shows there's that ERP and its connection to your e-commerce site. It's the product availability, pricing, even the customer login, registration, and order management. So customer registration and account management. Your customers can sign on in. They can edit their profile, also do some account management. What's their order tracking, purchase history, even payment information, list goes on. And again, that's all connected into your ERP. supports customer specific pricing and discounts. So once your customers sign in, it's based on their user ID, gives that API call to your ERP, whether Info or Acumatica, and quickly calls right back the pricing for that particular customer and availability. And if you have multiple locations, but this particular customer can only see one location's availability, that'll also display on the site as how you have it set up within your ERP. There's also the ability to pay on account and any credit limits. So you can set it up as a role-based, whether some users have to submit a cart for approval, or up to a certain amount, then they need approval, they can order below. And then you can have your pay on account or credit card payment, etc. But that really allows for customers to enhance their purchasing power and flexibility, because your site can be open 24/7, whereas your stores only open for a few hours during the day. And that also ties into if your customers want to look at just their account with you, they can look at any of their previous orders and even invoice management. They can view any aging invoices and potentially even pay for those invoices online. And so it really reduces those admin tasks for your own company and allows your customers to have one location to really control their own orders. And then all in the end, it allows they favor coming onto your site and continue to order from you because it's easy and convenient, and they have these management sources. So that also where it ties into improving their customer service. It's not just for your customers, that e-commerce site and connected to your ERP, it's also for your own sales team. Your own team doesn't have to have two separate windows open when they're talking to a customer, or if there's someone on the phone or in front of them on the counter. They can pull up your e-commerce site, even sign in on behalf of that customer and create favorites lists, save carts, submit a cart for approval. They can handle a lot on behalf of your customers right there from your e-commerce site. And also look at any order details or order history. If they call and say, hey, what did I order last week? Your own team could easily, quickly pull it up on your e-commerce site because it is integrated with your ERP. So it's just one platform to look at with all the same information. So moving on from just that, why is it critical? So what roles and responsibilities does ICCG and Unilog and yourself as a customer play in this onboarding and implementation? And as Bala mentioned earlier, ICCG is that really that ERP integration, workflows, and training setting up on your ERP side. Unilog is your e-commerce platform, any PIM or content, and then obviously any training that goes along with the e-commerce and the CX1 PIM platform. And then you as the client, you're the subject matter expert. This is going to be your site. It's your data. It's how you want it to be. So all three of us work together from discovery to the go live. There's discovery on what you want, the initialization of making sure we get all the integrations in, like your ERP and for Acumatica, any payment gateways, and then into your personalization. You want your site designed the way you want it designed. And reviewing any other features that might not have come standard that you might want onto your site. And then of course, there's a lot of testing to make sure it's ready to go live. And then we go live and we work on this all together. And ICCG and Unilog both have their support teams to help throughout with training and then continue to support afterwards.
All right, so that concludes our webinar. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you to Bala, Tyler, and Laura for presenting. We did receive several great questions in the chat, and we're ready to dive into those now. So our first question is for Bala. What specific ERP solutions does ICCG support?
Thank you, Ria. Before I go down to answering that question, I would love to thank Laura to bringing Unilog to this webinar for ICCG, and the way you and Tyler combined to articulate the storyline has been very insightful. Thank you to both for that support. To answer this question from an ICCG standpoint, as I mentioned at the start, we are a gold certified partner for Acumatica. And as you are aware, Acumatica has a manufacturing edition, a distribution edition, a construction edition, a retail commerce edition, and a professional services edition. And we support all those industry-specific solutions, industry-specific editions. Similarly, Infor, which has been a long-standing technology partner for ICCG, the prime two ERP solutions we support, CloudSuite Industrial, popularly in the marketplace known as Sightline, and CloudSuite M3, which again is the Infor's go-to solution for fashion and apparel, distribution, food and beverage, chemicals and life sciences, and manufacturing. And in addition, we also support some very strategic applications from Infor, such as their supply chain execution, also known as Infor WMS, for serving the manufacturing and distribution industry verticals. So these solutions, again, we tie it up together for our clients' benefit with very strategic partner solutions like Unilog, so that going back to that opening statement, we are able to provide from one shop a complete solution for our client experience. Thank you, Ria.
Thank you, Bala. So we have another question in. It's for Laura. It's a two-part question. So what ERP solutions does Unilog as a front-end e-commerce solution integrate with? And is Unilog solution cloud-based?
So as Bala said or mentioned, we do integrate well with Acumatica ERP and Infor ERP solutions that serve that wholesale distribution and manufacturing world. We actually have been in with the Infor ERP for umpteen years and have multiple customers on it. And also with Acumatica, we have multiple customers on the Acumatica ERP, even as they start Acumatica itself, serving the more manufacturing distribution, small to mid-sized companies. And yes, so Unilog is a cloud-based. It's the Google Cloud Platform, which it's all hosted on.
All right, thank you so much. We have another question. This is for Tyler and Laura. So why is integration between ERP and e-commerce solutions critical?
Laura, do you want to start with that?
Sure. So as we just kind of like overall said, I think a high level way of saying is you really only want one platform to work off of, right? As your customers have one place they can go on to, one place you can go on to, just make it easier for that admin tasks. And a lot of times that ends up being the ERP, but your customers can't have access to your ERP. So you need another platform. And that's where I think that e-commerce solution really is critical as far as you have, and with that integration, because you can still have your ERP be the master, especially for pricing and availability, your part numbers, etc. Whereas the e-commerce provides a fantastic platform for your customers to utilize and purchase from you, but also your own team to utilize.
Thank you. We have another question for you, Laura. If a client's need is just addressing their e-commerce needs, does Unilog support each scenario?
Yes, if they do not want to have a connected ERP, we absolutely can just have e-commerce as a basic e-commerce solution. where you can place orders, but it's disconnected from the ERP.
Okay, and then another one, so to add on to that one, so how does the Unilog e-commerce solution handle such a high volume seasonality business needs for possibly a distributor or retailer?
That's a great question. So with utilizing the Google Cloud Platform as a hosting, we have a 99.99% uptime SLA on multiple zone infrastructure. Sorry, I can't talk for a minute. So each customer has their own zone within our Google Cloud Platform. So they're pretty much running separately, and so you're really only competing with yourself on your own platform, a cloud platform. Hope that kind of answers the question.
All right, thank you. And then we have a question about security protocols. So can you share some more insights on security protocols on the Unilog e-commerce solution?
Sure. So Unilog incorporates really robust security protocols to ensure, obviously, the protection of sensitive data and obviously maintain the integrity of the system. We use SSL and TSL encryption for securing the data transmission. We fully support multi-factor authentication for enhancing security for both the admin portal and the storefront. So our e-commerce platform comes with like a front end and then like a back end, which is the admin. And both of those you can have MFA on. We also provide a role-based access control. So as I mentioned earlier, even just on a general user that needs to submit his cart for approval, that same role-based allows what can happen on the actual storefront e-commerce side as far as a user, what they can see, if they can even purchase, versus even on our admin portal side, you can tailor it to what your employees can actually see on the back end of the e-commerce using that role-based access control. We also use Cloudflare to enhance the security and performance and reliability on the e-commerce site. So that kind of provides services like your content delivery network, web application firewall, DDoS protection, etc. And then as far as the data privacy compliance, some examples are like the GDPR or CCPA. We partner with Termly. And so Termly comes with all of our CX1 SIM2 platform products. And then there's also so much more that Termly can offer, but we do have that come standard for the data privacy compliance.
Great, thank you so much. And we do have one more question. So what is the recommended model in this partnership between ICCG and Unilog for clients to get a seamless experiences for the clients? This looks like it's for Bala and Laura.
Okay, Laura, with your permission, I can take this and then you can add value, right? So,
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. So this is again a great question. A couple of important things for all of you, our clients, to take home here is a very integrated partnership between ICCG and Unilog. So how it works is you are in dialogue with ICCG for your ERP needs or your warehouse management system needs. And you believe that your e-commerce platform also needs a revisit. Instead of at that point in time, ICCG telling that, no, sorry, we cannot help you, what we will do is, sure, what we would love to do is bring you to introduction to our partner, Unilog, who have a wonderful e-commerce platform, and we will bring Unilog's team into the discussion and allow them to present their solution and how combined together we are able to provide the client a pretty complete experience. So that's one approach. Sometimes our customers who are our existing customers will come back to us and saying, really, we are seeking to update our e-commerce platform. And since we are on an Infor platform or an Acumatica platform, can you help us? And again, our go-to partner is Unilog to introduce them to our customers. This is for existing customers. The first scenario I painted is where we are talking to our prospective clients. Both ways, the biggest value add is we are there to handhold our customers and prospective customers to a complete solution as compared to leaving them high and dry for not addressing what could be a very important and critical need for growing their own business. So that's kind of the partnership model that works. We have a very good integration and connections between the two organizations. Coincidentally, both organizations are headquartered in the Philadelphia suburbs area. So that's another common factor. So for us to get across to the leadership team at Unilog and for Unilog to get across to the leadership team of ICCG is so easy. That's another point I just wanted to share here. Laura, any thoughts you want to add beyond what I stated?
No, I think you pretty much covered everything.
Great.
All right, so thank you all for joining us today, and we do truly appreciate your time and interest. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.